Today I'm over on The Athletic, link in the description to the article down below, going over their Big Board 3.0, the final group of players who could be moved on August 3rd. Gonna give you my quick thoughts and opinions and any of the updates that we've gotten on these guys. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the MLB trade deadline content coming at you, including my live stream on deadline day, August 3rd. And of course, a big shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. We'll hear more from them later. All right, so first we have Tarik Skubal, and again, it seems extremely likely. I'm actually shocked that this isn't a green dot because I think there's basically no way that Tarik Skubal doesn't get traded. Also, these fits, I'm shocked that we're not seeing Milwaukee on here. I'm shocked that we're not seeing Atlanta. I think they're way better fits than the Yankees as of right now. He's going to be traded for a haul. We talked about him yesterday. We've talked about him on the channel ad nauseum now. And the value is correct. He's an undisputed pennant-altering ace. The team that gets Tarik Skubal automatically puts themselves in a way better position to win the 2026 World Series. We got to keep him away from the Dodgers. That's the one thing. For narrative, for the season, for the World Series chances, can't go to the Dodgers, so I'm hoping the Milwaukee Brewers go and get him, or even the Rays. Like somebody that's just not the Dodgers, please. Next up, we have CJ Abrams. I don't think he's going to get traded, especially because it seems like the Nationals are expecting a big haul back, and most teams around the league don't view CJ Abrams as a shortstop because defensively, he is one of the worst in the entire league. Now, at the plate, obviously, he's an absolute stud, and there are teams that would love to have CJ Abrams and his bad defense at shortstop, but when evaluating trade values, it does become a little bit difficult. Teams like the Braves, Red Sox, and Brewers, again, of course, would love to get the bat of CJ Abrams, but the defense is the thing that makes them kind of take a step back on the trade here. I just don't think he's going to be moved, though. I don't think anybody really does. Next up, number 3, we've got Zach Neto. Possible fits Atlanta, Boston, and Tampa Bay. Likelihood is kind of in the middle. I think out of all the unlikely players to get moved, I think Zach Neto is the most likely. I'm really thinking that we might see the Red Sox make a trade for him. As long as it doesn't involve Franklin Arias, and same thing for the Rays, as long as it doesn't involve Theo Gillen, I think Zach Neto is going to be on the move. The problem is that the Angels should be asking for those players in this return. Zach Neto's very good, and obviously he's controlled through 2029, so there's really no reason to have to move him right now. But if you're negotiating with the Red Sox and you can get maybe an Ianson, or you can get some of these great young pitchers and some of the younger hitters a little bit further down the system, I think this is something you have to consider. Similarly to Abrams, Neto is a bad defensive shortstop. Probably not the home for him at the end of the day, but at least in Boston, it makes more sense because the bat will play so well there. A guy who I don't think gets traded, Mason Miller. Again, we've heard about what the package is going to need to be to get Mason Miller off the Padres, and I just don't see it. I don't see any of the teams listed here really pushing all the chips in for a relief piece, not like AJ Preller did last year, which was absolutely insane. And the Padres are back in the playoff spot right now. They're in the conversation. I can't see AJ Preller ever actively getting worse because of the possibility that maybe they don't make the playoffs. That's just not AJ Preller coded. Mason Miller's not getting traded, in my opinion. Similarly, Joe Ryan's not getting traded. We're not going to talk about him much, but the Twins are right in the playoff race, and their owner has come out and said that they're not really planning on selling at all. In fact, they traded for AJ Minter today. So yeah, likelihood red. We're going to move on past Joe Ryan. Before we get going into the next player, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Use my code HMA when you sign up to get in on this special offer. Play $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. So click the link in the description right now, download the Prize Picks app, and of course use my code HMA. Because seriously guys, Prize Picks is so easy to use. Simply select more or less on a few different players, lock them into your lineup, and then see how they do. Or maybe picking teams is more your thing. Prize Picks has that too now. I went for more than 28.5 significant strikes for Kyle Prepolek. I also went for more than 36.5 significant strikes for Michael Oliveira. And lastly, more than 25.5 significant strikes for Marcin Tybura. What's also great is that Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Texas, Florida. Make sure you use my code HMA when you sign up on Prize Picks, because when you play $5, you get $150 in lineups if you win. So click the link in the description right now to download the Prize Picks app. Big shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to the players. Next up, we've got Hunter Goodman. See, I mean, I guess they could be incentivized if they go get a top prospect. Funny that they include Atlanta here. I really don't think he's a fit for Atlanta. I know Drake Baldwin is not like the best defensive catcher, but it just feels like that would be kind of redundant. I don't think the Braves need to get Hunter Goodman. They have bigger needs. The Red Sox, it makes sense. The Yankees, it makes sense. But again, I just don't think that any of those teams are going to trade the top guys for Hunter Goodman. Similarly controlled through 2029. Number 7, Jackson Holliday. Deal likelihood unlikely. I mentioned this in my rumors video yesterday about how I wouldn't be shocked if we start to hear a little bit more. Again, like the Dodgers makes sense kind of, but I just don't think they'd give up the pieces to go get Holliday, who I think the Dodgers might have better prospects than Holliday is as a player right now. Similarly to the Brewers, the Nationals would be a team that seems more interesting, but again, are they really going to go into the farm system and try and get rid of some of their young pieces that are going to be a part of the future? I don't really see it as those teams. I'm not sure who the team is going to be, but it's just something that I think we have to keep an eye out for. Keep an ear wide open. Jose Soriano, I don't think he's going to be traded as good as he was at the start of the year. This point of the season, he's not really his sharpest. I don't think you'd be maximizing his value. I think give him one more season. Look to trade him next year at the deadline or even this offseason. He's very good. The stuff's very good, but he just needs some fine tinkering to really get to that next level, in my opinion. Reed Detmers. Now, see, Reed Detmers is someone who I think is actually going to definitely be on the move. I think that this is another one of the pieces that the Angels are going to cash in on. I could totally see the Braves. I could totally see the Padres. I could see the Nationals. I could see the White Sox. I could see the Cubs if they didn't have so many left-handed pitchers, but also I could still see them. I could see the Dodgers. Like, I could truly see any team that is competing right now going for Reed Detmers, and I could even see some teams that maybe are a year away trying to go get Reed Detmers, a young, controllable pitcher that everyone expects to have more upside once he leaves the Angels. His market's going to be pretty robust, but I do like the idea of Detmers being on the move. I haven't seen Hunter Green yet on here. Are we not including him on this list? It seems like Hunter Green might get moved. I don't see his name. We'll talk about it real quickly. Adley Rutschman. The deal likelihood is kind of medium. Whoa, I didn't see that. Possible fit the Mets? Why? Because we would trade Francisco Alvarez? What? I don't get that at all. Some of these fits are very bizarre to me. Again, the Braves for catching, I'm not really fully understanding this. Drake Baldwin, again, his defense isn't the best, but I still think you keep him at the catcher position right now. The Rangers makes a ton of sense. I could totally see that, but I feel like the Orioles just aren't going to move on from him right now. Otto Lopez, this is my sneaky. If the Red Sox don't get Zach Neto, don't be surprised if they don't get one of Otto Lopez or Xavier Edwards. Now, Edwards, of course, would be more of a second baseman, which is fine. Otto Lopez, shortstop, eventually probably moves to second base in some later years, but you have control over him. He's never not going to be a shortstop at the major league level under this current contract. Plays great defense, hitting the ball really well, having a career season. This is the guy that the Marlins could cash in on, even though they're competing, simply because it's a value proposition. His value is probably never higher than it is right now. And he has a similar-ish profile to what we saw from Geraldo Perdomo last year. Perdomo not nearly as good this year. Maybe you just cash in and get everything that you can for him right now. For a Marlins team who's fun, but they're not winning a World Series this year. And then similarly for Xavier Edwards, he has a ton of control. Might be a good time to move on from him. Plays phenomenal defense at second base. Like, don't put him at short, but at second, he's a Gold Glove caliber player. Seiya Suzuki, deal likelihood, unlikely. I guess this would be in a trade where you're trading like need for need. Maybe this would be with another contender, and we see Cleveland, Seattle, Tampa Bay. So maybe you trade Seiya Suzuki to go get something that you need. Suzuki helps with the right-handed bat. You go get an elite bullpen arm or a good starting pitcher. Maybe that's in the conversation. Sandy Alcantara. It seems like that he's not going to be moved. I feel like the rumors that I've seen recently on Twitter have said that they're taking calls on everybody but Sandy. So I'm not really going to give this one too much time. It feels like they're just not going to move on from him. If they do, it would be the offseason. They want to at least see what he can do the rest of the year. And I think that's fair. He still has room to get even better. He's been very inconsistent, but still is a good pitcher. Everybody knows it. Isaac Paredes at number 15 feels like a deal likelihood's middle. We haven't heard anything, and it just really doesn't feel like the Astros are going to be sellers right now. I don't think the Astros are good, but the American League is so weak that they're totally in it right now and fighting for a playoff spot. So I'm okay if they don't sell and they actively buy. I just don't think it is the right decision because I don't think it's a World Series team. It would be a good time to move off Isaac Paredes, but that's only if you're not trying to go hard the rest of the year, and I think the Astros are, so I don't think he gets moved, but he would be a perfect Milwaukee Brewer. That would be their third baseman. Lock it in. Kevin Gausman. Why do I feel like Kevin Gausman is going to be an Atlanta Brave? That's what's really sticking in my brain right now. He is on an expiring contract. The Blue Jays don't need him. The stuff's not as good as it was in previous years. Still a fine pitcher. And in that Braves rotation, or even in that Diamondbacks rotation, going to be one of the best arms because of injuries and guys who aren't there or aren't performing. Maybe even the Cubs. I actually don't hate him for any of these teams. I think they all have a really good shot. It's just that there's other dominoes that are going to fall, and that unfortunately could hurt the Blue Jays, so maybe they try to jump the market and move Gausman earlier. It's an interesting conversation because he's definitely part of like that next tier of starting pitchers, and it's a little bit complicated when you get there. Casey Mize, also part of that next tier. The previous teams that were mentioned for Kevin Gausman, I think would be interested in Casey Mize. Mize is looking really, really good. He does give up the long ball a little bit, but that splitter's disgusting. The fastball's great. He's been pitching exceptionally well this year. You have the injury concerns as always with him, but he's healthy right now. Totally worth a shot. He's getting moved. Emerson Hancock is one one where might be trading again a controllable player to a team that needs starting pitching like the Padres. This feels like it's the Padres written all over it. And maybe the Padres go out and give Seattle Mariners something that they could need, like a right-handed bat. Just going to be a need for a need trade because he has so many years of control and the Mariners have so many young, amazing pitchers on their way up. They kind of have to get creative with all these surplus guys. You can't hold on to all of them. You can. You're just going to waste your value, though. So maybe it's time to trade Emerson Hancock, who's had a pretty decent season. Michael King, I don't think he's going to be on the move just because, again, these player options at 28 and 30 million are kind of astronomical. He's a fine pitcher. He's solid. I just don't think that anyone wants to commit nearly $60 million over the next 2 seasons to Michael King, who is injury prone, not having the strongest of seasons of his career. And again, I don't think the Padres are going to trade him. If there was one guy, I think he would make the most sense just to get off the money. I just don't think the ownership particularly cares that much, it seems like, and I don't think AJ Preller, again, will ever sell until he's forced to. Liam Hicks, okay, this is a new name popping up here. I didn't expect to see this. Liam Hicks, okay, interesting. Yeah, at the catcher position, he's a little not great. I guess just because he's a left-handed bat, he's valuable, and he's really had a great year, and he has a ton of control, but I feel like this is a guy that the Marlins hold on to unless, again, they're given an opportunity where they can't not trade Liam Hicks. Luis Ariz is definitely on the move. I think he's gone. Why is Arizona a fit? Why are the Diamondbacks a fit for him? I guess to play first base? All right, now I can talk myself into it. I forgot that he could play first base. I still think it's going to be the Tampa Bay Rays. I do love this call of the Texas Rangers just because they desperately need more major league players that are good. And Luis Ariz in that lineup actually kind of gives them a nice little something that they don't have too much of. I know they have some contact first guys, but Ariz getting on base like he does, playing good defense like he has this year. If that stuff is legit, this is a very valuable player, someone who might be undervalued right now in the league. Clay Holmes up next. He is definitely gone. Yeah, likelihood is definitely green. We've heard the Cubs, we've heard the Rays, we've heard the Dodgers, we've heard the Brewers, we've heard the White Sox. This is a part of the next tier of pitchers, like I was saying. He's going to be very, very cheap. He's coming off an injury, but he's looked good in his rehab starts. He looked great this year. Clay Holmes is going to be a really nice pickup for a team. Just hoping that the Mets can cash in and get some good prospects. Dalton Varsho, ooh, likelihood green. I guess it makes sense. Again, he's going to be a free agent. The Blue Jays are not doing anything this year, and you look at Cleveland. It feels like he's going to be a Cleveland Guardian or a Philadelphia Philly to me. Feels perfect in both of those spots. Feels perfectly what they need. Good defense in center field. A left-handed bat with some power. Phillies don't necessarily need that, but the Guardians could always use more. Blue Jays should definitely trade Dalton Varsho. Ryan Jeffers. I think they should trade him. Do I think they will? No, I don't think so because the Twins seem to not want to move anybody right now. He's a free agent at the end of the year. Teams could use right-handed power bats behind the plate. Ryan Jeffers has some good metrics. He's been hitting the ball well. If he goes to a team, I do think it's going to be the New York Yankees. And then, of course, we have another Met pitcher on here, Freddie Peralta, who has had one of the worst pitching seasons in baseball this year. He's still going to get us good value back in a trade. I think it's going to be the Chicago White Sox. That seems to be the team that is naming the most players right now in possible Freddie Peralta rumors. I think the Mets want more than what's being offered by the White Sox, apparently. But at the end of the day, Freddie Peralta's gone. He's going to get a near top 100 prospect, maybe more so like those helium guys that are just outside the top 100. Everybody in baseball, I feel like, thinks that he's going to return closer to his form than what he's actually pitched like this season, which has been one of the worst pitchers in baseball. Adrian Morejon making it on here. Is this the second highest ranked reliever? That makes sense. He's phenomenal. I agree. I think unlike some of the other guys in the Padres, he's definitely on the move. He's just a left-handed reliever with no control after this year. It would be foolish of the Padres to not trade him because they have a weak farm system, because he might even help them get something that they actually need. Bullpen's not really their biggest concern, especially if they're keeping Mason Miller, which I think they are. Morejon's going to be on the move. I like him for the Philadelphia Phillies a lot. Ooh, Nick Lodolo. That's not a name. So we got Nick Lodolo on here. We don't got Hunter Green. I get it, though. Lodolo being a free agent at the end of next season, this could be a good buy opportunity for some teams around the league. He has the blister problem. He has the injury issue. He just seemingly is never on the mound consistently enough. It's been horrible this year. I feel bad because I love Nick Lodolo and the stuff is so good. Probably needs a change of scenery. This would be really fun. Like, depending on the organization that could trade for him, like if Cleveland got him, oh my God, he's going to be disgusting. Taylor Ward at number 28. Deal likelihood is green, which means he's gone. Arizona, Cleveland, Philly. I think it's pretty straightforward. He gets on base, has good pop in the bat, and plays okay defense in the corners. Like, it's completely fine. Jarren Duran, one of the most bizarre players in Major League Baseball right now. Deal likelihood's yellow, and I think the only reason it's kind of in that middle and not green is because The Red Sox probably would be trading him at his lowest point. I think the reason it's not 100% sure yet is because the Red Sox would be trading him at what is his lowest point. He's been horrible this year. The attitude's been an absolute joke. Seems to have a problem with everything going on. There's a lot of incidents going on. Doesn't seem to be a good clubhouse guy at the moment. I don't think Jarren Duran's a bad dude by any means, but something's going on that's just causing him to act just a little off. Hope everything's good with him. I like Jarren Duran as a player, but the Red Sox probably hold on to him just because they're not really going to get much. It seems like his value is pretty little right now. And then Lars Nootbaar. Ooh, they think he's likely traded. Interesting. So this would be a move by the Cardinals because you got to cash in on the Nootbaar value. He's played decently well since coming back from injury. Yeah, I guess because of the teams that need outfield so badly, like the Diamondbacks, the Yankees, the Rays. This is a major league outfielder, left-handed bat, so he's going to be better against the platoon side. Yeah, maybe the Cardinals just need to trade him because they have Josh Baez coming up too. You want to see that guy play. Foster Griffin. Deal likelihood middle. Okay. He's a free agent at the end of the year. I think he doesn't want to do a contract extension now with the Washington Nationals, which I thought was interesting considering they gave him a chance. I don't know what his free agent market will look like. I don't even know what his trade market will look like. He's a part of this next tier of starting pitchers now where this is going to be like last second picks, I feel like. Nobody's going to be rushing to trade Foster Griffin. And the Nationals, again, competing for a wild card, they don't have to trade him. They also don't have to trade Luis Garcia Jr. I'm glad they put this as a red, as much as he'd be amazing in Arizona, Minnesota, Texas. So these would be phenomenal landing spots for him. They have another year of control for him, and he's been unbelievably good this year. I think he's got like 70 RBIs, 20 home runs. He's been one of the best offensive first basemen in the league. As a baseball fan, hate to see the Nationals try and tear it down with these young guys. Like Luis Garcia's 26. Let's see what they can do. Try and make some noise. Get crazy. Dustin May here at number 33. I think he's on the move. He's a free agent at the end of the year. It just seems like there's no conceivable world where the Cardinals should hold on to him. Luke Weaver at number 34. I agree that it's kind of middling yellow because he has that extra year attached to him and he's getting paid a decent bit next year. Teams aren't going to want to take on that money, and the Mets don't really want to give any money to go trade a player to play against them. We also need relievers for next year for the Mets who think that they're going to try and compete in 2027. Who knows what that actually looks like. Teams could use Luke Weaver. It's just about finding the right package back. That's going to make it a little bit tougher. Shane Bieber. Yep, he gone. Shane Bieber is definitely gone. It does feel like if the Orioles make a move, he'd be an Oriole, right? That feels so normal. He also, man, he does feel like a Cub. He feels like all these teams. I love these fits. Take a flyer on him. He's not going to cost you much. And then I'm just going to now start briefly going through these guys. Francisco Alvarez, I just don't think that the Mets end up trading him. I think it's going to have to be a package that would blow them away. Just don't trade 24-year-old catchers who are like above average hitters right now. Gleyber Torres has to be on the move. Second baseman, plays pretty good. Good hitter. It's going to help some team at the major league level. Like whoever doesn't get a rise is probably going to get him for cheaper. I think the Orioles need to trade Trevor Rogers, but they're still kind of in it. Whoever does get him though, I think there's sneaky upside here. Michael Wacha's not on the move. I just don't think that contract's anything that people are going to want to take right now. I think Matt Shaw only gets moved in a trade where they're getting a ton back with control. I don't think he gets moved for any sort of rental at all. That feels like an overpay. Similarly, I don't think Jason Dominguez gets moved. I would be shocked. Colton Cowser, I mean, I guess you could trade him. This feels like, the Rays. I feel like the Rays would be on Colton Cowser if he's truly available. George Springer, I heard a rumor that the Red Sox would be a good fit. I also love this Seattle call here, even Arizona. I don't see the Yankees, but Seattle, Arizona, Boston, I kind of love for George Springer. I really love him at Fenway. With that green monster, I think he could be a beast, and he's a clutch playoff performer. Robbie Ray is going to get moved. Robbie Ray, you're going to be a Houston Astro. That's going to be my guess. Or an Atlanta Brave. Why not? I mean, he's fine. He's good enough. Christian Walker, I don't think he's getting moved, right? Maybe the Diamondbacks because they need a first baseman so badly, but then why didn't they just sign him to the contract then? I don't know. I don't think he gets moved. Matt Chapman, not even going to click him. He's not getting traded. Riley O'Brien, I don't think he gets traded. He has too much control, surely. Yeah, through 2030, there's no real reason to have to trade Riley O'Brien right now for the Cardinals, especially because you feel ahead of schedule and you need some relievers next year when you're going to be even better, hopefully. Mickey Moniak, you're being traded. Atlanta, Houston, Miami. Yeah, oh man, he would be a great pickup for the Braves or Houston. That bat with that power would be sick in the outfield. In those parks, he would eat. Luis Castillo, it's just like, who's going to take the money? I pray to God it's not the Mets. I don't want another bad contract on the Mets. Who's paying for this? Unless the Mariners cover a lot of the cost. I just think people are like, I don't need to take Luis Castillo from you. It's unnecessary. Yennier Cano, I believe, just signed an extension, so I don't think he's going to be on the move. Eugenio Suarez, I think if somebody takes him, the Reds will move him, and someone should, like they said, boomer bust slugger, it's worth it to take a shot on a guy who could literally hit like 15 home runs in 60 games. Joe Adell, I feel like this is going to end up being a Yankee. Philly also makes sense. Seattle also. These all make sense. The Rays. I could totally see the Rays doing this. Elite bat speed, not much else to offer. Totally, he's horrendous in the field. JJ Bleday, I think the Reds are definitely going to be trading him too. All the teams that are interested in outfielders would be interested in him. Padres should trade Ty France. It seems like they are. Cleveland makes sense. Arizona does too. It's just in division for a team that's above you. It's kind of like a weird thing to do, but if you get something back for Ty France, who you picked up, at the end of the offseason this year, you're probably just getting value proposition. That's a good move. Jeff Hoffman is going to be a Philadelphia Philly. I basically guarantee that. Trevor Larnach's not going to get traded. Jake McCarthy, part of that next tier of outfielders. Yeah, he's a Tampa Bay Ray or a Miami Marlin. He is going to the state of Florida. Speedy outfielder with a little bit of pop. Totally believe it. Brady Singer. Brady Singer's like low-key been pitching a lot better. I think you get him out of Cincinnati. I love this for the Nationals. I love this for the White Sox. Just get more major league caliber arms, and he is going to cost absolutely nothing. He's going to be free. I love whoever picks up Brady Singer. And then, I guess it's only 60 players. Jorge Soler is up next. I mean, anybody who takes him, if he goes back to the Braves, I'm going to crash out. Because they traded him to the Angels. Angels took all that money. Now the Angels will trade him to the Braves, and they'll probably pay the money to get rid of him to get better prospects. He's just a boomer bust guy, too. And then last, Tyler Stevenson, who I ultimately think does get traded as well. Good power, decent catcher behind the plate, really good at blocking. Like, I think the best blocking catcher in the league this year. Red Sox, White Sox, Rays, Yankees, every contender could use a right-handed hitting good catcher. I'd love to know what you guys think is going to happen at the deadline down in the comment section below. Appreciate you all watching another react video. There's just so much going on, and honestly, I'm trying to wait until a big move happens to make a big video. Nothing's happening right now, so that's why I kind of scrambled for this one last second. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of the deadline content coming at you, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!